It's my day off. I spent it repairing a water heater. So, accomplished something. But I am well into my second glass of very strong stuff. And I was reading some of the comments of a TED Talk. Rosie King, How Autism Freed Me to Do Myself. Freed me to be myself. Is that Freudian? And after watching it, she is slightly autistic. But probably very, I mean, what I guess they'd call functionally autistic. So just kind of odd, but cool. So she wasn't really an extreme version, someone that's just rocks back and forth and mumbles. But I was going down the comments, and it's just so... I mean, one of the comments is, okay, she's mentally retarded, great, move on. And another one is, if you're incompetent, you can't know you're incompetent. It was just an autistic girl giving a speech and saying, don't be shitty to me. I know I'm weird. What's wrong with weird? What's the problem? And all these people are just so shitty. I hadn't, and the reason I guess this is going to just be a ramble, is that I haven't been reading comments probably in about a year. I mean, some of them comments on mine, my own little bubble, but when I've been watching videos, I have not been scrolling down and reading any of the comments. And I used to do that. I'm starting to do that a little bit more now, obviously. So I haven't been involved really in what people were thinking, just what that person was thinking. So I made my own, had my own opinion, made my own conclusions, and then I just move on. I haven't cared what anybody else has thought, really. And I suppose that lately has kind of made me, if not slightly autistic, then an asshole. But that's, don't care. So in caring a little bit more, it's odd that people I'm seeing, just everybody's so shitty to people. And then there's bickering. And then it kind of made me think about my stances on things, because I get some shitty comments on my stuff. Not too much, but I've been making comments on this last week or so, comments on things on videos. And most of my comments are just, you're a lib. That's an issue. I don't care what you think about me, to be honest. But I do care. I guess this is really the point, that the reason I wanted to make a video is, what I do care about is whether or not I'm right. And I know you're watching, Mike. That's how do you know you're right? What's the difference between right and wrong? Whether or not you're right. Yes, that's the difference, and it's a big difference. So I like to know, or I would like to think, that I'm right for more substantial reasons than just like to be right, so I think I am. It's something more tangible. I want the evidence. I want my opinions to match the evidence of reality. Because if they don't, I want my opinions to match reality. So whichever direction that goes, whether it's conservative or progressive or religious or atheistic, whichever avenue is the one that gets me towards being more correct about what is real, about reality. That's my end goal. And in disagreements with my stepbrother, often was not about whether you're wrong, I'm right. It wasn't an argument. Our disagreements were, I believe, we both want the same thing. We want to be as correct in our view of reality, but there are certain things where it's opinion. Both are either equally correct or equally wrong. And then we start to diverge from there. Take gun control. My stepbrother is a anti-regulation. You're an American citizen. You own guns, Uzis, explosives. You just own it. And if you haven't committed a crime, very constitutional. Up the line. And I am of the opinion that now that we are in today's modern age, I'm going to be a little more thorough because I know my own thoughts. Today's modern age, where there are more than 4 people per 50 miles, first of all, someone owns an Uzi. If there is an accident, more people are affected because there's just plain more people close to each other. Back in the day, when the Constitution particularly was written, you could fire a gun all day long and not hit anybody because there wasn't anybody else. Exaggeration. But there was far less people. And I want to, in this society that makes its rules for itself, what we want to have, I want to feel safer in my home. So what's safer to me? Every buck-toothed hillbilly having an arsenal, the exaggeration, or heavily regulated so that I know violent criminals, convicted violent criminals, don't own weapons. People that are mentally incompetent. There are a lot of people that shouldn't drive. They shouldn't drive. They probably shouldn't own guns either. Things like that. I want protection, and which one is more dangerous, or which one is safer? My stepbrother would argue that not having as many citizens as possible armed gives way to government enslavement. I can see that. I mean, I understand how it could. But we don't see that. I mean, we've seen it happen and then fall. Happen and then fall. The countries themselves didn't really fall. The expansionism, dictatorial assholes stopped being that, so they shrunk. Who is that now? The US of A. Peace? No. So I don't agree, you can tell, with his conclusion of where it would go if we had strict gun control. We both want the best life possible for as many people as possible. We both have the best intentions. And it's hard to believe that I might be wrong. So I want to keep checking myself. Boy, I'm kind of going around in circles here. When if you're watching this, you get what you get. So I want to know that I'm as correct. I want to have as much evidence, and some of this shit that I'm getting from my comments makes me think that I may not be right about things that I know that I'm right about. The religion thing, of course, there's no God. You may think there's a God. You may have lots of reasons for a God. You may have beliefs. You may have had experiences. Whatever. There's no God. It's silly. Stop it. It's silly. And if you're going to have a God, be like the pagans. Have fun with it, for fuck's sake. We're on this planet this long. Quit being a douche. But politically, I think progressivism? Yes. Techno-progressive, yes. I think that's the way to go. There may be some negative consequences, unforeseen consequences, but I've seen the consequences of what we have now, and I don't like them at all. So I think we need a change. I try and question my stance on pretty much everything fairly regularly, and I haven't done that in a while, and so now I'm going through the process, and I guess because I'm commenting and reading comments now, I must have a little bit more care in me recently. I don't know where it's coming from. I'm gonna go with it. So I'm gonna be testing some of my thoughts, and I may be making videos on it. Or I might not, because I'm 44 now. I've had my thoughts tested regularly. I have thick skin from YouTube for almost a decade now. So a lot of negative stuff doesn't really bother me that much when it's directed at me, but seeing this, I don't know. That's it. Good night. Peace.